Alright, so I think I have the technical issues fixed. I think I do. Yeah. Alright, so for those who are still here, I think that we are all set. So yeah. Alright, so yeah, so tell me if you guys can see the entire screen now. I think you guys should be able to. So I think we're all good to go now. Yeah. Alright, so let's just pick off where we, cool, yeah, I'm glad it looks good. It's because I was using a new computer that I got, and now I just switched over to the old computer, so we shouldn't have any problems now. I think this one's just a little bit more laggy. But, where were we? We were talking about Bitcoin. Yeah, I know, it's lower resolution, but, because the newer computer was higher resolution, but no, it's we gotta pick one. More importantly, it's good now, we can start. And let's begin by talking about Bitcoin, as everyone always talks about. So a few interesting things here. The first one is that you can see that there's a volume spike and a sentiment spike right here. A lot of people had bought Bitcoin right there. And the market went down because, a lot of people had bought. And then the market went back up, and then slowly a lot more people bought. And what I was saying before is that I'm expecting the market to probably continue going down. But we might see some short-term support here, because this is previous resistance becoming probably future support. Alright, so welcome back for those who had witnessed the stream where it really wasn't working, but now I think we're all set. The good news is that Ripple went down in the meantime, and I was looking to buy Ripple, so we definitely fetch yourself a better price. Yeah, for sure. Ripple's down 3%, Ethereum up 3%. Monero's had a great day. Let's look at that. And I think Ripple's probably going down too. Yeah, Ripple went down. But Ripple doesn't look like a fantastic buy right now, as you can see here with sentiment, which is from bfxdata.com. And Ripple to Bitcoin looks it looks okay, but I don't really like this. We need a spike in longs here. And this one's really interesting, Ripple to Bitcoin here, because this is like textbook sentiment if you're interested in learning it. So if you look here, this first spike, this means a lot of people bought. So the first time that a lot of people bought Ripple at this time, the market just went down. And then when a lot of people had sold, which was right, looks like about here-ish, the market went back up. And then the minute that, right here, as you can see, the minute that a lot of people bought on this candle right here, the market then went down. And then more people saw this very strong bullish candle, and then many people bought. And then the market continued going down. And then the minute that people started to get out of Ripple, the market began to continue to move upward, which was interesting. So I'm expecting Ripple to probably continue going downward. I can't really see it just shooting upward right now. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, cool. So for just restarting the stream and just doing basically a new one, here's what's going on for those who just tuned in. So we've made 2 trades so far, and our first trade went really well on Litecoin. And then I made a lot of trades on Ripple, and I increased a little bit. Even though Ripple is not doing so hot lately, I've been trading it moderately well, so we've been able to increase our Bitcoin. And now we have 0.3 Bitcoin to whatever happens. Yeah. So what I'm going to be doing today is just looking for some altcoins to day trade. And then if we see something that looks good, we will put a buy order in with a stop loss, and then we will go from there. One thing that I was eyeing up today though is Litecoin and Monero, and something really interesting and actually kind of sad for anyone who's currently in Litecoin. I definitely feel bad for you because Litecoin's just really not done much, as you can see by going hourly and without sentiment here. This is what Litecoin has been. You guys see me? Can you guys hear me now? If I do this. Let me know if the audio just improved because I just did something different. So yeah, let me know how the audio is. Can you hear me now, audio-wise? Okay, now it was good. Yeah, because what I did was I just unplugged, to make the audio better sometimes, I just unplug, what's it called, like headphones. Yes, that should be a lot better now. But yeah, where was I? On Litecoin, we really haven't seen too much. We did trade Litecoin before, but when I was trading Litecoin, it was doing stuff like this. Now it's doing stuff like this, and it just, what I was saying is I feel really, really bad for anyone who's in Litecoin right now because it's just, volatility in the market has just kind of vanished, as you can see with just constant ranging. And you might think that this might be a good market to, consolidate, to trade off consolidation, buying from support and then selling at resistance. But if you were to actually do that, and let's say you bought at a really good support level, like right here, and sold at resistance, you'd only make 3%. And with fees on Poloniex, if you do limit orders, and that's minus 0.3%, so you would have made about 2.5, 2.6% only if you had traded in this. So, and it would have been over a long time frame. So the verdict for Litecoin is that it just doesn't look that good right now. And I would expect the market to probably continue going down and maybe start to build support at the bottom of that tail, because that's sometimes what happens. People like to put orders around these long tails. So we might see the market come down to this level and then maybe it consolidates, but Litecoin will not be traded by us today unless shenanigans happens and it like breaks out upward and then retraces perfectly. Then yeah, maybe we'll trade Litecoin. I know Ethereum to Bitcoin's actually had a crazy move today, and this is what I was looking at. What I'm likely going to trade today is, yeah, exactly. I know. For those who had just came in, we had some issues with the first stream, but we resolved those issues. They were just, the problem was I was using a new computer that kind of screwed with like the format and stuff, and it was like cut off. But I'm gonna delete that video and then of course just post this one on my channel. But so yeah, what I was saying for new viewers and viewers who are here right now, it looks like Ethereum Classic is probably a good buy. And the reason I say that is if you look here, we have significant volume, upward volume right here, especially here when the market went up. And now the market seems to be retracing off of this move. And for those who know how to trade breakouts, this looks like the type of move that retraces 61.8 and then just continues moving upward. So it wouldn't be crazy to buy this and then try to take profit around 0.27-ish for, like a nice 7% gain or something like that, or maybe even more if it retraces more. But let me draw a Fibonacci just to see what we could do with that. So the long-term Fibonacci, 61.8 down there, which might be hit, but I can see the market having some support at these levels right here. Because this is a previous resistance level, and this is a previous resistance level as too. So I think that this whole area, we might see some consolidation, or even better, like a V formation, where it goes down then immediately up. But like Ethereum Classic, people are selling it really heavily though. But on the flip side, I don't know if you guys can see it, because I can't really see the volume that clearly. I think I'm going to change that setting. Let's see here. Make it like super, super bright so that you can't miss it. Oh, that is so pretty. Look at that. It's like the volume is
the exact same as the candlesticks. So what I was saying here is that Ethereum Classic looks like a pretty good buy to me. We don't have a lot of volume in the downward direction. For those who know volume trading, we want to see a lot of volume, not sentiment, but we want to see a lot of volume on the upward move if we want to buy. And we want to see not much volume on the downward move, because what that means is that the sellers aren't that energetic and there isn't that much demand to sell, but there is high demand to buy. So that if the market begins to move upward, we can expect that demand to pick up as people who had sold previously or just want to get in on it will buy after we buy. So this looks like it's setting up for a bullish reversal where the market goes upward. So I think I'm probably going to end up actually buying Ethereum Classic soon. But I first want to just look at to the dollar what it looks like. Yeah, so it's a similar picture here with really good volume upward, and now we just have this move. We have previous resistance, it became support. Market went up 61.8%, as you can see, and then the market went down. That looks to be about 61.8 on Ethereum Classic. Let me see. Oh my god, yeah, it's like near perfect if you guys can see that. I'll zoom in. Yeah, that's a very beautiful Fibonacci right there. I just drew the fib from the market top of today to the support level that had previous resistance, and it hit 61.8. Okay. The only issue with it hitting the 61.8 and what this means is typically, more often than not, the market is going to probably continue moving downward first, Ethereum Classic will, and then move upward. So what I'm looking at for Ethereum Classic, and I think I'm going to put an alert too, is I would expect the market to, let me just draw this here. I expect the market to probably retrace 61.8. Oh, there you go. Of this recent sub move right here. So that's like down to like here-ish. Maybe we get a tail. And if this whole thing that I'm doing turns out right, the 1.618, yeah. So this is called, what I just drew there is called a Fibonacci extension. And that's what you draw during a retracement, typically. So the market moved down and then back up. So I just drew from here to plot that 1.618 down to here. So for those who aren't really interested in Fibonacci's and just want to know what I'm doing here, basically, if Ethereum Classic enters this zone, I'm going to buy it. If it enters the 34.6 to the 34.4 zone, it's very, very likely to reverse. And the reason that is because it has two important Fibonacci's resting at those levels. And on top of that, we also have previous resistance here. And on top of that, we have a lot of volume transacted at that level. You can see that right here. A lot of volume was transacted here. And then a lot of volume was transacted right here. So this is probably where Ethereum Classic is going to go. Again, the market could move up a little bit, then move down, or just move up. But I would expect it to come down to these levels. And if it does, then we will buy. So that's basically the plan for Ethereum Classic. Pivot reversal strategy. Yeah, pivot reversal strategy is great for beginners who want just, and for those who don't know, let me actually show it instead of just like talking about it. PRS. Okay, here it is. It's a beautiful indicator for those who just want to use technical analysis, as you can see here. It just tells you when to buy and sell. And this actually would have been a beautiful signal. If you guys can see here, it indicated a buy at 33.4. Then it indicated a sell at 35.7. So you would have made, easy like 7%, and you would have been out of the market right now. Just from pivot reversal. Yeah, you would have taken a small loss here. As you can see, you would have bought here and then sold like here, which would have been like minus like 1%. But that plus 7.5%, would have been much better than this too. And you also would have had a profitable trade here too. Slightly profitable trade. Here, you would have had a profitable trade here if you're using PRS, which is the pivot reversal strategy. You would have had a profitable trade there too. Actually, instead of me just saying it, I can just show you guys list of trades. On I don't think these numbers are right. It doesn't look right to me. 0.02, yeah. I'll show you guys how I like code my PRS. I always disable the quantity. The left bar and right bar is fine. That's what you're supposed to use. That doesn't really change much. Oh yeah, here. You're supposed to put this at 100% to get the full thing. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. Okay. How do you identify a good coin to scalp? Usually volume is what you want to look at for a good coin to scalp. You need to see a lot of volume traded for a few reasons. Because if you're looking to scalp something, you want it to move very quickly. And if you want it to move very quickly, then we need a lot of people trading that. You don't want to trade a coin that really no one's trading. So what I would do, if I wasn't on stream and I was just looking to scalp, is I would separate these by volume, as I already have, and I would probably trade the top 3 or 4. I would look for opportunities to use maybe pivot reversal, or just to look at Fibonacci's, and then I would buy one of those because they're high volume. So I'm gonna look at Ether soon too, but Ethereum Classic. What I just said before is what we're expecting. What I'm expecting here is the market maybe moves upward first at a 61.8, but I'm expecting the market to move down to here because this is a 61.8 and a 1.618 level. So there is a lot of confluence at this level right here. Let me just show you the extension because that would be from here to here at that 34.5. Yeah, 100 equity is what you want to do with PRS when you're back testing because that'll give you cleaner numbers and bigger numbers too. They'll give you more information. And with PRS, you can see here like buy and hold return would have been 21.49. Net profit was 27.14. So the pivot reversal strategy outperformed the buy and hold. And that's what you always want to look at. You need to make sure that the strategy that you're using is better than just simply buying and holding something. And if we go to the 1 hour, I think it's going to, yeah, you would have made 1,000%, but the buy and hold would have been better for the hourly. So that's what I like to do. I like to look at different time frames for backtesting. And you can see that Ethereum Classic has performed best in on the 5 minute. So yeah, that's PRS. All right, so I talked about Ethereum Classic. Now let's talk about the big guy, the second biggest coin really there is, Ethereum. Okay, so what I see here is a chart pattern. Let's see if anyone in chat, of the 40 people watching here, if anyone in chat knows what this chart pattern is. It's not the prettiest one, but it looks to be a bit like it. And as I slowly draw certain trend lines, if you've seen it before, you probably will be like, oh. Equity is the answer to you, Chris. So what is this chart pattern here? Let's see if you guys can see it. Now I think I just drew the chart pattern, but that's what I see on Ethereum right now. I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds just for suspense. Yeah. Okay, so someone just said in chat, so try not to look at chat yet if you still don't know it. But Nayu, you are correct. That's an ascending triangle. We can see that because we have resistance that holds, and we have support that is building upward. So that shows that there's a high amount of demand, and that every time that the market goes low, people buy it up so that it doesn't go lower. So Ethereum looks pretty bullish right now, I would say. And volume-wise, it looks like we do have significant green volume, buying volume. So Ethereum would actually probably not be a terrible trade. Let me put on sentiment. Yeah, okay. So the only issue with trading Ethereum right now, though, is that a good amount of people have already bought in the short term. Even though this looks like a really good technical analysis, you can see here that a lot of people bought up to this point and then sold down, and now they're buying it back up. What I would love to see is like a long tail or a very quick downtrend where all these guys just dump it, and then maybe long sentiment goes back to like this level. So like right, this green line right here goes down to like here, and then that would just be a beautiful buy, as the people who just got stopped out are probably going to be buying back in. Let's look at FBTC, because maybe I can find a trade on there. Yeah. Oh my God, 5 a.m. in Italy? Well, dude, that is commitment right there. Wow. That is commitment to the YouTube, and that is commitment to the crypto world. So cheers to you, Termination Shock. All right, so yeah, I would say Ethereum here looks pretty bullish as well. Let's see if I think the 1.618's probably been hit. Oh my God, yeah, it's like almost perfect right there. When I drew it like that, 1.618 had resistance there. And this would probably be the next level of resistance. All right, so a lot of you are asking about the pivot reversal strategy. So I'll just pull that one up again. Nope, wrong one. I'll just pull up PRS again and show you guys what's up with that. Get rid of accumulation distribution. All right, so here is what I like to do with my settings. For those interested, I keep the standard inputs. Properties, I like to put it at 100K. Base currency, you can use USD or default. Pyramiding is fine, but what I like to do here is order size. You can go percent of equity, 100. So that's basically what it's saying is if you were to put in all of the capital that you are trading with into every single trade, what would happen? And you push OK, and then you are in. You can also actually put commission in. So if you have like a percent per order, so if you have like a 0.15% commission, you can put that one into here, and it will tell you how much money you'll probably make in the future. So those are my settings. And style, I always disable quantity because it's just kind of stupid. It'll always give you like really large numbers that aren't too helpful. And you can play around with that too, but I like to keep that. Hit OK, and here it is. It's 5 a.m. for you, Ben, in Berlin. Jesus, dude. You guys just don't sleep. Oh my God. And then for PRS, you can look at listed trades. And if you see here, red is trades you would have lost, and green is trades you would have won. And then performance summary, you always want to compare the buy and hold return back to the net profit. And if you see that the net profit on this time frame is higher than the buy and hold return, that's saying that your strategy is outperforming the market, outperforming, buying and holding the asset, so that it's worth doing. And you can see it is here by about 12%. If I put on the hourly for Ether to Bitcoin, Jesus, yeah, oh my God, 74,600%. So yeah, versus 4,000. So if you trade, this is just something in the past, but basically, if you use pivot reversal strategy for Ethereum to Bitcoin on any exchange, you probably have very high positive expectancy on the hourly. Yeah. For any like math nerds here, 74,600. I don't know how many times higher that is than 4,000. I think that's like, man, that's a lot of, that's like 17 or 18 times. So basically, you would have made 17 times profit if you had used a strategy instead of just holding Ethereum Bitcoin. So that's a, I know there's a lot of other technical analysis strategies, but I don't really want to get into like all of them. I just want to show this one. And I kind of like the chart too that shows, because I don't really use it that much because I like to trade using Fibonacci's and sentiment and volume. But yeah, this is a great way to trade, and especially if you want to code a bot. If you guys know API, because bots don't have emotions, and they will get you gains like this, like the 19% gain that you could have made if you had gone long. God, in January 8th, it would have brought you, this strategy would have gotten you from 21 to 25. So 20% gain. So that would have been nice using the pivot reversal. And you can also see it here. Like, seems to be pretty good signals. Buy here, sell here, then buy again, and then sell up here, and then buy here, and you already had a profit. So yeah. Sometimes PRS shows me that I would make more money by just by buying and holding, but I don't see how. Well, PRS doesn't always work. It's sometimes you're going to run into very choppy markets, and markets that consolidate in range a lot, PRS isn't going to do well. The reason why the pivot reversal strategy works really well is because of momentum and a lot of trending. So if we have like a very powerful uptrend or a very powerful downtrend, then it will perform pretty well. All right, so let's look at Bitcoin. And then, like I had said before, we are looking to probably trade Ethereum Classic is on the top of my hit list right now. Then I'd say Ripple. Is what I'm looking at. Bitcoin does look interessante here. Doesn't look too bullish. I would expect Bitcoin to likely have resistance at the 61.8, which is like right up here. So you can see I just drew that Fibonacci. Is it having resistance here? No. Yeah, I would say the market probably might go up to here and then come down, or just come down now. So I would say I'm bearish on Bitcoin in the very short term. But let's look at Ripple again, because I do want to trade and not just talk about indicators all day. All right, let's see here. So with Ripple here, we can see that a lot of shorts have gotten out of the market, and longs haven't really done too much except a lot of energy here. Yeah. To be honest, it's just Ethereum Classic is what I'm looking at here to trade with. Ethereum Classic or maybe XMR, because XMR looks really good right now. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Monero to the dollar. So we have resistance, and then we have consolidation here, but the really attractive thing about Monero right here is that a lot of people shorted it, and a lot of people got out of long positions. So that means that it's a good buy. Yeah, Monero looks pretty good right now. Because longs are dropping out of the market. And you can see that that's a symmetrical triangle. So I would say that Monero is probably going to continue moving upward. But here's the thing. So often after breakouts, price likes to retrace 61.8%. And when I say that, it would retrace to this level. I'll just show you guys it for fun. Yeah, it would probably retrace to 387. I really want to buy Monero right now because it looks like a good buy, but here's the thing. We have previous resistance here that's likely to become future support at that level right there. It's also the 61.8. So I think that we're probably going to see price come down to this level and then continue moving upward. So I don't really want to buy Monero just yet, even though it looks like such a good buy. I think price is probably going to come down to here. And you can see in the future if I'm right or not, if you're watching this on the YouTube instead of live. And yeah, XMR BTC looks just to be about the same. We have a lot of people shorting it though, which is really good, and a lot of longs jumping out. Yeah, this is a hard one. The reason I say this is a hard one to do is because Monero Bitcoin looks very bullish right now. Sentiment-wise, let me just show you what that means. So if you read this, and then you compare it to this, you can see just how attractive it looks. Longs dropping out, shorts jumping in, price goes up. But, and there's always a but, I'm expecting price to retrace 61.8 down to here. But again, the other but to that with Monero is that with so many longs dropping out and so many people shorting it, I don't know if there's enough downward momentum for this to even come down. So Monero looks interesting, definitely up there with Ethereum Classic, because I wanna buy either Monero or Ethereum Classic during this. Yeah, I was hearing about audio problems. I don't really. Maybe that'll help. I don't really know what that'll do, but apparently I'd fixed it before when I unplugged something and something worked out of. Yeah. But it's going to be either Ethereum Classic or Monero for me. And Ethereum Classic seems to just have had gone upward to a Fibonacci level. You can see that right there, that's a fib right there. So I'd expect price to probably consolidate or go down for Ethereum Classic. And when it does come down, again, I'm expecting this level here. So I'm hoping that happens in the near future, or maybe we get like a long tail down to that level. That would be nice. So let's look at something we have not looked at yet, and that's Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin. It's at support right now, as you can see, support. But this really does not look good at all. Shorts dropping off, longs increasing at support. That looks pretty ugly. So I don't want to trade that. Yeah, it's probably going to be XMR that we trade. Maybe that or Ripple. If something crazy happens on Ripple, I'll probably want to trade that. If we get like on Ripple, if we get an increase in shorts or a quick decrease in longs, I'm going to buy like immediately. I'm going to look at the overalls now. All right, so overall, most coins are up. Monero is doing really well, and I'm looking to probably buy that in the near future. Ripple's doing okay. Seems to be consolidating right now. Litecoin isn't doing too hot. Bitcoin Cash isn't doing too hot either. Ethereum's probably quite bullish right now. Yeah. And Ethereum Classic and XMR are probably what we're going to trade. But Ethereum looks good, though. Not going to lie. Buying Ethereum right now seems kind of crazy, but this just seems so bullish right now. This chart formation does. It's just that this increase in longs isn't fantastic. Just for fun, I might look at Zcash too. I don't even have that as like part of my list here, as you can see. Zcash to Bitcoin, yeah. This doesn't look that good at all. This looks like it'll probably move downward now. We have a lot of increase in longs here. Too many people have already bought this. And for those who are savvy sentiment traders, basically we want to buy before everyone else buys. So if we see that a lot of people have already bought, with this green line, we don't want to buy. Because then those people who bought are going to have to sell. And if they sell, that's going to push the market down, causing us to probably lose money. Oh, good Lord, what just happened with Ethereum Classic? Have I not looked at this before? I think I did, but I just kind of like didn't talk about the sentiment. But do you guys see this? How many people just bought Ethereum Classic? Jesus. We went from 162,000 up to 450,000. So we about tripled, like 2.5x. That's not a fantastic sign. Also, shorts did increase as well from about 12.55 to 18.6. Yeah. That's interesting on Ethereum Classic. That's not really a fantastic sign usually. What that usually means, when it's that big, when, long sentiment increases by like 3 times, that typically means that a large buyer has entered. Not just like a lot of buyers, but one really, really large one bought Ethereum Classic. Price does seem to be respecting these support levels, though. And we might see price come up to here for a 61.8. But I don't think I want to buy Ethereum Classic. I think I'm just looking at XMR now. Let's see if as many people bought. Yeah, a lot of people bought Ethereum Classic to the dollar, as you can see here, which doesn't look fantastic. I'd have to see price come down to here, as I'd said before. Could you please explain and show how do you set sentiment indicator? Absolutely, guys. All right, so here's what you do if you want to start trading with looking at sentiment now. Type in BFX LS. You get 2 things. If you click this one, it'll go below here. If you click this one, it'll overlay onto price. This one I like a lot better, so you can see other people do as well. Then when you have this, I like to put mine at this, at all the way. And that's kind of all. Just line, line, green all the way, red all the way, and then size all the way to make it really pronounced. Yeah. So Ethereum Classic looks like a lot of people already bought, but also a lot of people had shorted. So this shows a lot of open interest in the trend. But so many people had bought Ethereum Classic, not people, but so many Ethereum Classic to Bitcoin have been bought that this just doesn't look good. Yeah, price might come up to the 61.8, then come down, but just I can't see myself buying this. You know, there's just too many people buying it. It's Monero that I'm more looking at right here, as you can see here. Yeah, no problem. All right, and I think in the meantime, I'm going to do my first practice question. I'd done a few of these with the last live stream when the market was not favorable, but I'm going to do another one right here. Let's just do a random one to see who's good at predicting future prices. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to delete that and delete that. All right, so I think I'm going to do like one or two of these before I continue to trade and to analyze. Okay. So no one cheat and look at the dates here. Okay, so let me set this up. So I'm going to put 2 price points. I definitely have my opinion on this, but I'm going to hit play in about 15, 20 seconds. So all I ask you guys is, do you think it's more likely to go up or down? So if you think down, then you think the price is more likely to hit this level first. If you think up, you think price is more likely to hit this level first. So you can comment now before I play it. But yeah, so we have sentiment here, as you can see, and here. And I could draw some Fibonacci's, but I don't really see what I could draw here. Maybe like that. The 161.8 is above the up thing. So this might be, yeah. But I'm going to give you guys about like 10, 15 seconds more. So we have a few down. Let's see. Okay, now we have just about 50-50 with ups and downs. Okay, I have 37.45. All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we have 3 ups and 2 downs. All right, so I'm gonna play it. So no one's right yet. It looks downish. Looks like this level might be hit. Let's see. Who would have made money on this trade? Still no one's right. You can't really guess now. I mean, sure you can try, but still no one's had the level hit yet. I'll do 1 or 2 more of these. Okay, so I think most people said up by like one more. Be funny if price just consolidated for like the next like 5 days. Then no one knew if they were ever correct. But this does let people guess what they want. Okay, almost. So the up people are still alive, but it looks pretty bad right now. Okay, there you go. Down people won. For sure. I'm going to pause that there. Yeah, so if you had said down, you were absolutely spot on correct. As you can see, the market did touch your level, so kudos to you guys. Reason I was thinking down too, and I'm not just saying that with 2020 hindsight, I was actually thinking that because of sentiment right here. If you look here, then we had a jump in long sentiment. A lot of people had bought this market top, and what that tells me is that the market's probably not going to be able to move past this level. And let's get, I can get sentiment overlaid into here just by pushing this. Okay, so here was the sentiment, and a lot of people just dropped out. So yeah, some person just said buy point here. Volume spike and a drop in longs. Does the market go up? Let's just see. I know that the down people were correct here, but is this a buy point? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Reason why the market's going up, for those who are interested, we have a volume spike and a little not that hard strategy that you can use that works basically on any asset that has volume and price is whenever you see a volume spike, typically that indicates a reversal. So when a lot of people do one thing all at one time, they rush the market. Typically that's when the market flips. And if I just talk about this thing right here, a lot of people had sold right here, as you can see, all the way down to here, and so many had sold that it bloated the market with selling, and then the market moved upward. So if you ever just want to trade using naked price chart where you're just using price and volume, you could probably be consistently profitable if you know how volume operates. And that's why the market went upward. But yeah, that's a Fibonacci retracement right there. I think this might have been. This was. Let me reveal the dates. Open the kimono here. This is December 18th. So maybe I think this was. Yeah, a lot of sellers had entered the market here, and a lot of people had gotten out. So this would have just been a great buying spot. Oh yeah. Let me actually go to Bitcoin. First, I want to look at XMR. Yeah, XMR is not doing anything interesting. Okay, so I guess I can do one more of these. Just the issue with doing one on Bitcoin is that so many of you probably already know what happened. I have to go way back. Let's see how far back we can go. You savvy sentiment volume traders out there. Okay, so no one try to look at the dates here. Let me set this one up. Oh, that is definitely a price formation right there. Let me play a little bit more until we get a spike. Okay. So this is going to be the last one we're going to do. And for those just tuning in and don't know what the heck's going on, this is a day trading live stream. So I'm looking to day trade coins on Poloniex. And right now, nothing looks too attractive right now, but we're looking at buying Monero soon if it retraces or just if it continues to consolidate. Monero looks like a good buy. Ethereum looks like a really good buy as well. So I'm going to probably trade one of those two within the next half hour probably. But yeah. Just the problem with this one is that so many of you guys know already what happened. So let me do this just to make it more fair. Because I think I know which way I'm leaning here. You could probably tell. Okay, so what's going on here? If you think that the market's going to move higher than just this standard resistance level, then up. And if you think that the market can go all the way down to 14.088, I know some of you probably already know the answer. But still, based on sentiment and volume here, do you think that the market's going to first move beyond this point or move beyond this point? And this is going to be the last example for a bit. So I'm not going to give my analysis yet until I start playing it, and then I'll tell you guys what I think. I will say though, if you pick up, you just have to clear 8%. If you pick down, you got to clear 12%. So we have mostly down. Okay. Give you guys another 20 seconds. Bend scales, I wouldn't say both are increasing upwards here. This is a sentiment spike and this is a sentiment spike. Yeah, they are both increasing upward here, but this is consolidation. All right, so the time is up. Let me play it. I think down. Even though I might completely be wrong with like a market tail that goes up there, but I'm thinking it's more likely the market's going to go down. let's see if me and the majority of people here said down. But if a market tail just goes up to 17.3, I mean, then we're wrong. But I actually don't remember what happened here. The market's just consolidating right here on Bitcoin, December 14th. Okay. All right. So it actually went up. Interesting. So I think the majority of us were actually down. A lot of people had said down here for predicting this guy. I thought down too because you slippery salamander. It's hilarious. Yeah. So what had Bitcoin done here? We had a sentiment spike here, which makes sense why the market dropped. But what I didn't show you guys is what is the sentiment information after. So we can see that buyers just continue to come in, and you might be thinking, wait, if buyers just continue to come in, why did this go up? And that's because of a breakout. So in an established uptrend, when a lot of people buy, we expect price to go down. But in consolidation or when price breaks out, typically when a lot of people buy, price continues to go up. And the reason that is because in consolidation, a lot of people exit positions, and because they take profit. Because that happens when price moves upward, a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out, kicks in, and then the retail traders who had previously been in positions are going to buy back again at a worse price. And then you see shenanigans like this where the longs just like skyrocket. So yeah. Buyers look trapped. Well, the buyers were, here's the interesting thing. The buyers were trapped at this level, but then they dropped off. And then they became trapped at this level, but they dropped off again. So I wouldn't really say the buyers here are too trapped because the price went above their buy point. I would say shorts maybe went trapped. Yeah, I always use green and red for my long and shorts, but you can use whatever colors you want as long as you like can distinguish the difference. Because I think if you can't distinguish the difference, then it's not really that helpful. All right, so the same old. What is going on here? We are looking to trade Ripple, XMR, or maybe Ethereum. Ripple's doing absolutely nothing right now, as you can see. But there might be a potential trade with this level here. Let me show you what I have in my mind. This level right. Make it all pretty. I'm going to paint this one green. No, you should not be red. You should be green. Yeah. Okay. So what I just draw. This is a good buy zone for Ripple, as you can see. So if Ripple comes down to here, I'm going to buy it. And Ripple to Bitcoin, again, like really not much happening here, as you can see. How about our friend XMR? Yeah, so XMR looks to be beginning to go down. So I really want to buy Monero because of sentiment, but I really can't buy it because I expect it to retrace 61.8. I don't think it's just going to just consolidate here and then continue going up. Let's look at the Bitcoin one. Yeah, same thing here. Even though we have a lot of buyers dropping out, I could see myself making a play from this level to this level. But that's only 2% though. That's not that much. How about Ethereum? Okay, I'm glad it just went down. Yeah, Ethereum looks to be breaking out to the upside. So Ethereum looks to probably continue moving upward. So should we buy Ethereum? Sentiment looks okay, not fantastic. I don't really want to buy at a market top. We had some longs drop out of Ethereum though. Okay, so someone wanted me to look at Litecoin to see if it'll ever reach 500. So let's just do some analysis here. I'll take off sentiment for now. Will it ever reach 500? Let's go on the 4 hour then. Well, the short answer is yeah. Of course, it's gonna eventually reach 500, but you probably want to know when, because knowing that it does isn't important. It's when. Well, my addiction to Fibonacci extensions. Let's see here. What this level gives us. If you were to draw a Fibonacci extension here and then expect at the 1.618 level, so this is kind of cool. The 161.8 level is 500. So we could see resistance on Litecoin at 500 to 505. I'm up to 0.3 Bitcoin. So what that means is we started with 0.25 Bitcoin and now we're at 0.3 Bitcoin. So we're up 20% by my math. Yeah, I see this at 161.8. So I'd say Litecoin is probably going to be moving in the upward direction and see resistance here and then major resistance here with maybe the market goes here and then comes back down to here for previous resistance becoming future support. But yeah, I would be bullish on Litecoin, and especially so because of the lack of volatility. As you can see, let me show the 1 hour. Really not much has happened. As you can see here, we're just moving here. Oh, quick move up, but then just back here, not much movement. And then Litecoin to Bitcoin has even less movement, as you can see here, with just nothing happening. We haven't made any trades yet today, Aquarius, but I'm looking to buy probably Monero or Ripple. It's going to be one of those two. Within probably the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'll enter a trade. So what I see with Litecoin is whenever you see a very little hint for traders who are looking to trade breakouts, whenever you see a very long period of low volatility, typically that's followed by a very high period of a period of very high volatility. So it's like, imagine the market with a low volatility is like a spring. It's like coiling up. And then as it coils up smaller and smaller, volatility-wise, eventually that spring's going to be released and the volatility is going to expand very quickly. You can see that here. As the market moved downward, we really had nothing happening. Very small volatility. The market shot upward like that. And you can see that on Ethereum too, actually. Really interesting example on Ethereum in the past, before it did like this craziness, is that it consolidated for a very long time, I remember. It consolidated here for a bit, as you can see, with just bouncing off support and resistance, nothing too fancy happening. And then it consolidated here for a long time as well, before it continued moving upward. I think there was an even longer period of just consolidation, where just like nothing happened. I'm going to look at OMG soon, by the way. But basically, the point I'm making with Litecoin is that periods of low volatility typically are followed by periods of very high volatility. So you want to buy when it's very non-volatile. So what that means is when the market's not really doing much, you want to buy if you're trying to buy over a period of days. If you're trying to scalp, then that's useless. You probably want to scalp a very highly volatile market. But this looks like it's about to probably spring upward or downward very quickly, like that. That kind of move, but probably even more advanced. So if I see that happening on stream, which is unlikely, that now would be the time for it for Litecoin to go upward, then yeah, I could see myself buying it. But I'd be absolutely down to buy Litecoin on stream today. Reason being is because of sentiment. We really do not have many longs in the market, as you can see here. We had a long spike, and the longs just dropped out again. Now we're down to here. Shorts are dropping off though, which is unfortunate. If we look at the hourly, a lot of people are just getting out of short positions, which isn't fantastic. But longs look decent, even though we had a lot of longs by here. Now they're just not even doing anything. They're just holding. And the Fibonacci that I find important is, I think, let me draw it for you guys. And I think I might buy this. It wouldn't be a beautiful buy. It wouldn't be like fantastic, but thinking of drawing it's like, All right, there it is. So I'd expect price to probably come down to the 61.8 of that retracement, or just to have support at 165. Probably more likely than not, we'll see support at 165 though, than this be respected. Yeah. In the short term, I would be bearish on Litecoin. In the medium to long term, I would be very bullish. Oh my God. Yeah, I read so much on what you had just said here about Charlie Lee selling his Litecoins. Reasoning, I don't know. You know, that's his decision. But I actually made money off of a trade where a lot of people had sold Litecoin, and I can show you guys that. I made 0.25 Bitcoin to 0.289 Bitcoin with a Litecoin trade. So I think that was around the time that the really bad news hit, and then just everyone just dumped it. And then I picked it up from the trash, basically, and bought and made some money off of that. So when really bad news hits, by all means do not buy. But when really bad news hits and then everyone sells it, you know, that is like the perfect optimal point of buying, because then you can become the first buyer into an uptrend. And who doesn't want that? All right, so I'm very happy I didn't trade Ethereum Classic because it's going down and really not doing much. Yeah. Seems to be kind of respecting the 61.8 retracement of this move, but I still expect price to move downward. I'm streaming at a time where it's just like I can't really buy anything here because I was about to buy Monero Bitcoin, but if I had bought it, I would have already been at a loss. So, okay, this is good. If price just quickly just drops off, that would be beautiful because we could buy, and I would be more than happy to actually just buy this right here at the 61.8 retracement down to here. I'm glad I flipped it up like at this time. If the market comes down to these levels, I'm going to be buying with every single penny I have. We just need support to break and then price to drop. And then hopefully longs drop off as well. They already kind of did, but it'd be great if they dropped off more. And like I had said, Bitcoin looks to be just about consolidating here, bouncing from support, resistance, 61.8% support, and then back to resistance. But to me, is because of this long sentiment increase. And this is a 61.8 move. So I think short-term bearish. Yeah, it's basically just XMR that I'm looking to trade here. So what the plan is and the strategy is to trade XMR. Oh, that's great. It actually already made a tail downward. Is to trade XMR when it comes down to about 2.8. Yeah, because like Taha S had just said, this really doesn't look like a good market to be buying into, especially not XMR right now. But the really good news is that I'd say in like maybe 20, 30 minutes, maybe price will be down, chilling out at these levels. That would be beautiful. And I think what I'm going to do on stream is just put a buy order out so that in the event that, you know, like a tail hits, just a really low tail that we can get filled. But I'm looking to see what price is likely to be a good price to get in at for XMR. So when the market comes down to here, I'm expecting it to likely go back upward at 387 for the US dollar one. And for those interested and anyone who wants to trade right now, I can't give you guys like actual, you know, advice. Oh, buy or sell here. But what I will say, and this isn't advice, but kind of. But we have resistance here, and resistance typically becomes future support at these levels here. We also have a 61.8 retracement of this very strong up move with breakout on very good volume too, and this is beautiful. It's already dropping. So if the market does come down to these levels, more likely than not, it will probably reverse and continue going upward. And then we will get probably a 5-wave upward zigzag. So that would be dandy if we can get that to happen. But I would expect Monero to probably continue dropping right now. Yeah. But let me write up that, because the market's dropping a little bit quickly, I'm going to write up the order to see where we want to put our buy order at. So I'm thinking there are two main ways that I could buy Monero. I could buy it at here at the 61.8, or I could buy it at the 161.8 extension. And I'm leaning towards buying it a little bit lower at around 0.28. But here's the plan. If I see significant support here in a volume spike, I'll just buy immediately. I'll just buy Monero right here immediately because that's very likely going to probably begin moving upward. But I'm going to put a buy order here. And then if we get like a tail that comes down, our buy order will be hit and we will be in profit. So that is the plan with XMR. But what I'm going to do first is, for those who saw my volume profile, this is definitely your time to shine. So here I have the fixed range volume profile. I'm going to draw this just to see. Let me see developing here. Okay. Because what the volume profile tells you is exact spots where to buy and sell, which can be used very helpfully. All right, perfect. Here we go. So it's telling me that the bottom of the value area is right here. And conveniently, that's also the 1.618 of that move. So maybe here we get some good support. Yeah. What if I zoomed out? If I go like here and just plot the entire consolidation here, if it loads, the volume profile is just so helpful. Even though you need TradingView Pro for it, I think it's really worth it. But yep, so this looks like good support here, but also the 61.8 is going to be probably good support as well. All right, so we have that drop off in Monero. Cool. And now we're at the 127. And I'm going to see if price respects that level. But first, what I keep saying I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do it now. Promise. Let me write the buy order in because it looks like the price is beginning to drop a little bit. So I'm going to buy at right here, right above that 61.8 retracement. So that's looks to be like 0.2805657. Let's see here. So that way, if we get like a tail that goes all the way down, we will be filled in a position. .2801, 0.2801. I'd actually expect price to probably come down to the previous resistance level here. .28666. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna be buying Monero right now at 0.280666. Okay, cool. So we have our first buy order of the day. And for those just tuning in or who've been watching for a bit but don't really know what's going on, so basically I'm putting a buy order. I just put one out at 0.280666, which is right here, 0.208666. So that way, if the market just quickly drops off, I'll be filled, and the market will probably go up. Cool. So yeah, I'm expecting price to probably continue moving downward. My only worry is, though, that we see significant support at this level here. And if my order does fill, which it probably will by the looks of it, at 0.208666, I'm going to put a stop loss right here at 0.274. The minute that price hits it and I'm able to put a stop loss out, I will put a stop loss. So cool. So let's see here what's going on. So price still hasn't gotten to that 1.618 level of Monero yet, as you can see. I'd expect price to have some support here at the 161.8, just because it's an important number. And price did just drop down to 400, which is a round number. All right, see you, Ben. Hope you had a good stream. Yeah, so 400 is a round number, but here's the interesting thing about that price level. It's already been disrespected, as you can see here. Price already made a tail past the 400, meaning that there probably aren't too many orders at 400 right now, because if there were, price wouldn't be able to go past it. So I think that price is probably going to continue moving downward, or so I hope. I think this one might be a 1.618 as well. But I'd still be bearish on Monero right now. And I see no reason not to keep my order out. I'm hoping, yeah, Bitcoin probably isn't going to do much. I don't expect too much craziness from Bitcoin right now. Okay, cool. So again, just to remind people who might not be watching, we do have a buy order right now that's set at 0.280666. As you can see right here. We're going to use our 0.3 Bitcoin, as you can see, to buy at that price level. And then I'm going to put a stop loss right below here, and I think we're going to be good. And I might end the stream if my order does get hit. I might not, so we'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see when price comes to these levels at the 161, what price does. I'm expecting price to hit this and then go up. But this is good to watch, that XMR is retracing, because for those who were here, the veterans who were here at the beginning of the stream, I was looking to buy Monero like actually in this consolidation range. So I was thinking about like even buying a like 0.29 or like maybe here-ish, because it just looks so bullish. But I'm really glad I didn't buy it at that point, because if I had bought it at like here, if I had done that, I'd be down a bit. But instead, I'm expecting price to retrace 61.8 and then continue moving upward. And I do plan to hold Monero for at least a few days if my order gets filled, which I hope it does. I'm expecting downward movement to continue to occur down to this level right here. I'm also going to draw a horizontal trend line at the price that we are buying at. Okay, here's the line. So 0.28. Yeah, so if that dash line gets hit, let me actually make it bold. If that line gets hit, then we are in a trade. And Clement, you would be correct with that answer. Okay. So yeah, I'm still expecting price to probably come down here, but in the meantime, This is the really cool thing about 161.8 levels is that price made a tail just down to here. And I was thinking about putting a buy order here, but I'm kind of glad I didn't now. Maybe famous last words that I'm instead buying at 0.280666 here. But I was thinking about buying in this range right here because this might see some upward movement, as you can see right here. Oh, you're a Badger? I am a Wolverine. So football-wise, we did not do too well this year. For those who watch college football, my school did not perform too well this year, which was unfortunate. But Wisconsin did well. Wisconsin definitely did well. And I'm not surprised to see Alabama again win it all. I think it's like the third time in a row that they've won the national championship, honestly. So yeah. All right, so indicators, let's talk about it. So here are the indicators that I'm using. I actually drew it here. Those three indicators, and I would add one more, just historical volume. Historical volume is this right down here. I draw the volume profile from time to time, but these are the main indicators that I like to use. Long-short sentiment is this green line and this red line. What that tells us is the green tells us how many people are long in the market. The red tells us how many people are short in the market. I love to use Fibonacci 0.618 and 1.618 areas. So what that means is like this, that level right there, is where I put my buy order at, where I put my buy order right here. And this level here is another really important level, the 161.8. Then the volume profile is a little bit more complicated. I made a few videos on that, but that's basically what it looks like. And this is where we're at. We currently have 0.3 Bitcoin. I am not using any leverage because it's my belief that altcoins are already dangerous enough or risky enough to day trade. I don't think that, like 3x triple leverage for a coin is probably the best idea. But you're entitled to your own investments. I don't really think that's a comfortable level of risk for me because if this thing like jumps like 20% or goes down 20%, then with leverage you're looking at like minus like 60% of your position like that. So that's why I do not use leverage currently. So for those tuning in and for those who are just like watching this right now, what I'm seeing right here is the 161.8 is being respected. Price went down and then went back up. Yeah, so you can see the buy price. Yeah, I put my buy price right here at 0.280666. I just drew a line right there. So that will activate if we get price to go down there. The only issue, though, that I don't love is that price seems to be really respecting this right here, as you can see. And for those who don't, for those who aren't sold on Fibonacci's, I would say there's actually no better indicator in really any market than Fibonacci's. I'd say second best would be volume and sentiment, but Fibonacci's are just so helpful because if you look at any price, like honestly, you'll just see time and time again the 61.8 level being respected, the 1.618 level being respected over and over again. And if you can just master those levels and get really good at trading Fibonacci's with crypto, and then also get good at trading volume as well, I mean, you're set, honestly, especially if you trade the 1 hour, because those Fibonacci's are fantastic. But for enough of my harping on fibs, what we just saw here was, let me delete this. I drew a Fibonacci from this retracement from here to here, and the 1.618 got hit, and then immediately price went up to here, as you can see. Now the price is down here, but it went up about 1.7% immediately, just because of how many people put buy orders at the Fibonacci's. And I don't know if you guys just saw that, but a lot of people just shorted, which means that this could become support. So that's an okay sign. I might want to move my position up. Right now, I'd be buying at this level. But this looks bullish. This looks quite bullish, even though we're having this previous support becoming resistance, as you can see here. That's why price like jumps up and then back down. It's because of the resistance. And a lot of people shorting that. That's a good sign that's probably going to go up. Hopefully, though, I'm hoping that we get price to come down to that 61.8. All right, XMR, let's see. So again, with more Fibonacci's of my love and obsession with Fibonacci retracements and extensions, you can see the 1.618 was barely not touched, and then price began to move upward. Yeah. Okay. And it also looks like, was this a Fib retracement? Yeah, 61.8 right there of this move. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Monero might just start moving up now. I'm hoping that we get price to come down to here, but with sentiment and fibs here, I feel like I probably should have put my buy order a little bit higher. Probably should have put my buy order like at the 161.8 instead of the 61.8, but maybe we'll see price just shoot down. That would be glorious if it did. Look at Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin's going up. I'm hoping it continues moving upward. Because if it moves upward, then XMR BTC is probably going to move downward. Okay. Let's look at Ripple as well. Ripple's done absolutely nothing. How about Litecoin? And Ethereum Classic. Okay, yeah. Thank God we didn't buy Ethereum Classic. I was about to buy that, but I'm really happy I didn't do that. So there hasn't really been too much action today. I'm not gonna lie. But I will say that if there had been, if I had bought a little bit more or been a little bit more aggressive with my trading, I would have lost money for sure. Definitely for sure I would have lost some money. So I'm glad that we really haven't entered any trades yet. We still have our 0.3 Bitcoin. But still, needless to say, I think that price is probably going to come down to here and then begin moving upward. And my stop loss would be just right here. So I'll be risking about 2.5%, not much. Yeah, I'd risk about 2.5%, and my take profit would be at resistance. So I would take profit at 5%. So that's a beautiful 2-to-1 trade because I'd be risking a 2.5% loss for a 5% gain. So that's a 2% trade. For the guy who just asked how to get BFXLS to load, it only loads on some coins, so it's only going to work on the main coins typically, like Ripple. It's going to work on Monero. It's going to work on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Neo, OMG. So you'd have to hit a coin that is supported by Bitfinex. And if you don't, it will not load. But someone I think like half an hour ago had said for me to look at OMG. So I'm going to look at that. All right, so OMG looks bullish, I would say. Yeah, I don't really see any reason for this to be bearish for OMG. We have resistance here, but we have increasing support. This OMG looks good. Let's see OMG BTC if there's any beautiful opportunities. No, this doesn't look good actually. And before I say it, I'm gonna indicate what's going on. This and this. I'll give you guys 5 seconds just to think it over. Yes, the reason why OMG BTC really doesn't look that attractive right now is a lot of people just bought and a lot of people just got out of shorts. So that's a lot of buy volume hitting the market right here, which makes it's going to make it a little bit hard for price to move upward. It's more likely that price is going to move downward. this would have been a really good selling opportunity as well, because so many people have bought that, as you can see. But I will not be trading that coin. All right, let's see this. Okay. So I still have my buy order at 0.02806666, and I'm gonna say I think I'm relatively happy with my placement here, because if I had bought here and put a buy order, I wouldn't have loved this, because this doesn't really look too bullish. This looks a little bit more bearish. So I think I'm happy that my buy order is there, and I think it's also this. And when you look at that, the 161.8 is exactly where my buy order is. From here to here. If that high holds and no more highs are held, no more highs are created in the next hour, then price has this as a 161.8. So I think my patience might pay off with us getting our buy order hit. But yeah, so I think we're close to position, and then my stop loss will be here, and my take profit will be here, unless I see significant bullish movement. And if I do, what I'm going to do is plot this to this, and then just take profit of 161.8 of that. All right, so I think that this plan's kind of set up, so let's actually just do another practice one, because I think we have some time until price hits my number. And if it begins to consolidate, I will just end the stream, and yeah, that's the plan. Cool. Ethereum's having some resistance, of course. Oh, Lord. A lot of people just bought Litecoin at resistance. But a lot of people shorted it too, and we have a volume spike here. All right, so here, let me train you guys, kind of train, but just free mentoring for the 45, 50 people who are here. I'm going to tell you guys what's going on soon. Still waiting for XMR to hit my level. But in the meantime, let me look at, that's probably not the best. Okay, here. So I turned off sentiment for an important reason. Let's see here. So if you were to just use volume spikes, do you think you could make money in this market? Let's see. So we have the hourly for Ethereum. And I'm going to pause the video when we do get a volume spike. Oh, this is interesting. This is I'm tempted to just put on sentiment for this. Okay, a lot of people bought, a lot of people shorted, but this is coming out of consolidation. All right, so here's my question to those who are in chat and watching. What would you do if you had seen this breakout on Ethereum? We have a lot of volume. We have a volume spike moving upward. And if I give you 3 options for trading this, buy immediately, you don't buy at all, or buying at a 61.8, what option would you pick? Let me just draw right here. So yeah, like let's say that it was October 13th and you were looking at the hourly for Ethereum. Would you buy at 318? Would you buy immediately at 342? Or would you not buy this at all if you had seen this very bullish breakout with very good volume? I think I know what I would do probably here, but I'm just going to ask you guys for those three things. So retracement, yeah, wait for retracement. Buy immediately, which probably isn't a terrible idea, or buy 38.2. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so what level would you buy at, or would you just buy immediately or not buy? 61.8. All right, I'm going to give it another 15 seconds until we get to hour 25. Oh, thank you, Clement, for posting a trading view thing. All right, so let me reveal what would have happened. Yeah, so you say buy this now. So if you were back in time looking to trade Ethereum, what would have happened? Oh my God. Okay, so whoever said 61.8 is just wow. I'd said 318, right? If you look here, we had a tail down to the 61.8, so everyone who had said they would buy at 61.8 would have gotten their order filled. And you would have been already in about 5% profit. If for the people who said 61.8, wait for 61.8, yeah, kind of, yeah, three. Those three people who had said 61.8 were definitely correct. And look at that. The market went back up to resistance. So you could have made, if you had bought at 61.8, you would have had perfect profit up to about 12%. So yeah, that would have been a really good buy. And I will look at EOS because some of you guys are talking about that. As long as you had sold at resistance, you would have made a good deal of money. All right, let's look at EOS. And then I also want to check out whoever just published, Clement, you just published a percentage-based long and shorts. That's going to be really interesting to look at. So thank you for that, man. And for those who are interested in trading right now, let's first check at XMR BTC. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, nothing's happened on XMR. EOS is going crazy right now, upward. Let's take a look at, I don't think volume data is available. Oh, yeah, they offer sentiment. Shorts increased, longs decreased, meaning that the price is likely to continue going upward. On EOS, that does not mean buy right now. Absolutely not. I just will say that this looks very legit and looks like it will probably continue moving upward. And the reason that is because not many people bought it, and a lot of people shorted it, meaning that at these levels, there might be some trap shorts. So EOS looks very bullish for those who are interested. Yeah, spike in shorts, this all makes sense. This would have been a great buying opportunity for anyone who knows how to trade sentiment. If you had bought here when everyone had shorted, I mean, you would have made 2020 hindsight, but you would have been already up like 66%. If you had just bought when everyone shorted and then just sell when everyone buys. Just do the opposite of what everyone else does. I mean, you would have been making all this. Now, let me actually just do some Fibonacci's on EOS for those who are looking at the level of likely stopping. So what's this level? Okay. All right. So my Fibonacci's telling me that at 18.36, price is likely to have some consolidation. So I'd say around like 18.3 to like 18.5. Price is likely to begin to consolidate. So that's in about 3 or 4%. Yeah. And these Fibonacci extensions actually work really well, I've noticed, especially on the hourly. They can be incredibly reliable. So my answer to someone asking, hey, you know, would you rate it as a buy or as a wait for a retracement? For sure, wait for a retracement because we're probably going to see powerful resistance here with the price moving back down. Okay? I'm going to hold that one up just to see what goes on. I'd expect price to not go past that level. So someone said like Litecoin. I'd said Litecoin. I would not buy until the market gives me a sign that I should be buying. I see no reason to buy or sell this, honestly. If anything, I'd probably want to sell at resistance, also with the jump in longs. So that doesn't look... I wouldn't say Litecoin looks too good. The only good thing that it does have going for it is this chart pattern of an ascending triangle. Resistance, support, building support, resistance, building support, resistance. That's a very classic ascending triangle where price typically likes to continue moving upward. So I'd say technical analysis-wise, this looks like a good buy. But sentiment-wise, I think that we might see some consolidation or some downward movement. And yeah, we still have our buy order down here. And really not much has happened except consolidation. But what I've been waiting to do is, Clement, I will honor you making that new indicator. So let's see if it is up. So you said it's BFX LS100. Oh, so you just posted this. Let's check this out. and see what it does. So let me disable that and tweak the settings for your new. I don't really know why it has 4 things here, but maybe you can explain why there's 4 lines. Maybe it's a percentage is one of the lines, and then the other one's not. Did it not? Did it not work? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, so this offers percentages and actual. Yeah, one is volume, one is percentage. That makes sense. What if I disable the one that is sentiment? Just kept the one that is percentage. I think I see this. Just playing around with this right here, as you can see. Okay, so that's the exact same. So it'd be the other two. So these two are the percentages for the indicator that you just so handfully created. Interesting. This is really interesting. Yeah. It's interesting also that like mine changes whenever I hit BFX to LS. It just changes to that. But let me play around with Bitcoin now, just to see what the percentage one looks like. See that? It's like there's a red line down there, red line here, green line there, and there's probably a green line above that. Okay, cool. Thank you for creating that new indicator, Clement. So what I think I'm going to do with it is disable the percentage plotting, but then just use the numbers, as you can see here. The numbers that are plotted like right there, 33 and 66, but I still have just the actual raw sentiment data. But I'm going to be using your BFX LS 100 as you have so kindly created. Okay. So using your new indicator, it looks like we have 71% long and 28% short. Oh, yeah. So if I just plot the green one, that just shows me how many longs, how much percent longs there are. Okay. I see. Great question, Taha. So what does it mean if we see a lot of price movement, but the sentiment doesn't see much movement? Well, what that means in the market is that if there's a lot of price movement, but there's not a lot of sentiment, that means that people aren't really doing anything. And if people aren't really doing anything, that means that they're holding their positions. That means 2 things. If price is going up after, and nothing's happening, that means that the shorts who had shorted are likely trapped. They don't want to take a loss, so they're still waiting for price to come down to their price level, and then they're going to be break even. The longs are probably not eager to sell. So I'd expect if nothing happens with sentiment, price would probably continue doing what it's doing. So if price is moving upward, but the sellers aren't energetic because they have trapped positions, and the buyers aren't really doing anything, then price is probably going to continue moving upward. That would make sense in my head. Yeah. All right, cool. Now we had a long moment of just like not much happening, but now we might see our order get filled on Monero. That would be really nice and dandy. And again, I would put my stop loss just down here for a 2-to-1 trade. Yeah, and when you're always like when you're thinking about questions for sentiment, just think about it in your own head. If you see a lot of people buy, and then like let's say the market crashes, put yourself in the shoes of one of those people after a sentiment spike, and say, if I had bought here, would I want to sell? And if the answer is yes, then the market's probably going to crash. But if the market is going down, but you would probably just do nothing, then the market probably will do nothing. So if sentiment doesn't change but price goes up or down on big volume, would it mean someone is buying or selling? Yeah, that's because sentiment doesn't tell us everything. There are other customers as well, not just Bitfinex. And volume is very reliable. Sentiment's pretty reliable, but of course volume is going to be more reliable because it's just actual data from an exchange. It's really nothing too fancy. And like I'd said before, if you get good at trading with volume, then you would definitely be set for trading consistently profitable. If you can understand what volume spikes mean and when volume's increasing when price increases and then decreasing when price decreases, then you should feel pretty confident. As you can see here, really not much volume activity. That's because price was consolidating. And then a lot of price activity as price moved upward and is likely to move down and then back upward again. And maybe a good time to enter Ripple. Well, I don't really see any volume spikes. And a really good rule of thumb, and this is one that I use in all markets that I trade, when you don't see energetic volume, don't expect price to change its direction, typically. So if price is consolidating, and then you see the market begin to move in one direction, and volume isn't increasing, expect whatever's happening to probably continue happening. So like I had said for Ripple here, we don't really see a volume spike. So if the market's going down, we would expect it to probably continue going down. Because if there isn't a major change in volume, why would you expect a major change in price? And for the savior, Lord and Savior Bitcoin, volume on Bitcoin is going to be really good to trade off of. Yeah, I'll look at XRP BTC soon. But this is a good example. Let's just get rid of sentiment for now. If you had just price and volume, and for those watching here, two really good things would have happened. You have a volume spike here, which is already a great buying opportunity, and then another volume spike here. Not as big, but still a volume spike. This right here would have been a great buying opportunity. And if you just trade volume spikes and nothing else, so basically just buy or sell, buy when the market crashes and then there's a volume spike, and then sell when the market goes up really quickly and then there's a volume spike, you're going to be golden. If you had bought here, and this isn't just 20/20 hindsight, this is very clear to see. If you had bought at 12.9 and then just sold immediately after a volume spike, you have a volume spike right here. As you can see, you would have made 8.45%, and then the market went down. And you would not be in the market right now, which would be a bit unfortunate, but your trade would have been very profitable. Also, if you had bought here with a major volume spike right here, and let me actually just show you guys what that looks like if you were in real time. So I know that if you were looking at this price graph, price chart, you would probably not want to do anything. But with all of this volume here, this volume spike up to here with 1.735K Bitcoin being transacted in 5 minutes, this is a really good sign of a reversal, as you can see. And then the reversal did happen. And then also for my Fibonacci extension traders. Not surprisingly, price goes down to the 161.8. All right, so let's look at Ripple to Bitcoin and see if it's a good buy. All right, so we have price at support. And I don't really see a volume spike at all here. That's definitely not a volume spike. Maybe on Binance there's a volume spike, but I don't really see anything too special happening right now on Ripple. Maybe the good news if you are long Ripple or want to go long is that a 61.8 has just been hit, as you can see here. 61.8 retracement, and then price is likely to consolidate or move upward after a 61.8 move. But I would say this is fine. I wouldn't buy or sell. I probably wouldn't even trade Ripple right now. It's XMR that I'm looking at. Okay, so now this is, where's XMR? Okay. Now this is getting interesting because price is beginning to move a bit lower. Our buy order is still here. We are still waiting for that level to be hit, and then we will be in our first trade. And our 161.8 comes down to here. Yeah. So I am going to keep this buy order, and for those, for the people who just joined, we have a buy order on XMR BTC at this level here. Reason of that buy order is because it is the 61.8 retracement of this breakout. It's also the 1.618 extension of this move. And we have long sentiment dropping and short sentiment increasing. So someone said WCT just broke out like crazy on Binance. Yeah, it did. Oh my God. Okay. So for those trading on Binance, someone wanted me to check this one out. We just went up about 40%. Looking at the hourly, yeah, this seems like almost vertical. Price just about doubled from this level here too. Yeah, WTC looks very bullish right now. Likely some really good news came out. But as always, let me plot my handy dandy fib extension to see major support, major resistance area, pardon me. Okay, so one of them just got hit on WTC. Let me take off auto. All right, so 127 point hit, 0.24. Okay, so price might see, I don't know, price might see some resistance here, but it's unlikely. Price is likely looking at the point 003. Reason why I say price is likely to probably go up here is because it's the 161.8, as you can see here. So it's got a lot of value up there. And then also the round number thing, where a lot of people like to put orders at round numbers. I'd expect price to come up to here. Yeah. So that's my analysis on that. Someone said XLM BTC, so let me check that one out as well. Just a quick little analysis before I go back to looking out the trade that we are about to be in. So the 50% does have good resistance. And we might see a move up to the 61.8, up to there. And then also the 161.8 is up there as well. Let me look at the volume trend. Yeah, this doesn't look too good, I would say. So to answer you, RadSound, Cloud 420, I would say there's really not too much reason to be very bullish on XLM, just looking at technicals. And of course, volume. Reason being is that we have decreasing volume as price moves upward, and that's not really a good sign. You want to see increasing volume as price moves upward. But if you see here with the moving average, it's trending downward as price is moving upward. So that's not fantastic. So I'd expect price to either have powerful resistance at a 61.8 or price goes down. Oh, yeah, that's the news. I was thinking there's got to be some kind of news for Molten Chain. Because price isn't just going to double with, that quickly. But that is interesting for those trading on Binance for WTC. I'm still expecting it to go to the 0.003 level, and I'm pretty confident that it will, and then we'll see powerful resistance at this level here. Yeah. Price looks to probably continue moving upward to here. So we'll see if I'm correct, and it'll probably be over in like 10-15 minutes that price will reach that level, and then price will probably begin to come down very quickly. So I can't tell you guys to buy or sell, but again, this is just my analysis. You don't need to follow it. You should always do your own analysis. But 161.8 levels plus a round number, that's, yeah, significant volume as well. And a lot of people who trade crypto trade it just for these reasons, that you can double your money in like an hour. You know, trading before good news happens or trading some technicals. And I am going to end the stream in about like 10 minutes-ish. But I first just want to check out this trade right here, as you can see, which looks good so far. I still would expect price to continue moving down to this level here. Or I can't really see consolidation here. I think price is probably going to continue moving downward. But in the meantime, looking at WTC, BTC is really interesting right now. I'm still expecting 0.003 to be resistance. So let's see if I'm right, or if price just disrespects it and just continues moving upward. It might. I mean, looks very bullish.
Are you on?
Yep. I know, late night trading. For some people, though, it's like, it was like 6 in the morning for some guy in Germany, honestly. Okay, so now Waltcoin is looking to, Waltcoin is looking to go down now. We're probably going to see a volume spike here. Oh, that's a really good question, because I did used to trade Forex. It's definitely simpler to trade. It's definitely simpler to trade Forex. Just joins. What gains did I miss? Well, right now we have a buy order for XMR that hopefully is going to be hit soon. But so far we are up 20% on this 0.25 Bitcoin to 1 Bitcoin challenge, because we are at 0.3 Bitcoin, which is good. How do I get to that point of resistance here at 0.03 Bitcoin is what your 0.03 level for resistance. How I got to that level was, if you go to the 4-hour, what I did was I plotted this to this. As you can see, this retracement right there, I plotted the 1.618 extension of that retracement. So from here, let me take off auto. I'm expecting, yeah, I know. But 20%, a lot of that is coming from Litecoin. So now I'm expecting price to probably either disrespects that level, moves up upward very quickly, or respects it and then begins to move downward. But I got that level by just plotting the Fibonacci, not too complicated. But Jesus, that's a lot of volume. Look at that, God. And just for this, I'm going to check how my buy order is doing. Yeah, it's still active. Okay. 0.028066. Oh, but that's good. For those who are interested in how my trading is going right now, looks like price is breaking support, and that's what we want to happen, because we have a buy order down here. So I'm expecting the price is going to probably continue moving downward, and we will get filled. All right, so on WTC BTC, that's just been so interesting. This looks interesting. I mean, we might see retracement now. I predicted that this level would probably have powerful resistance. Maybe it's a good selling point for many traders. And then one more thing, guys, for looking at this resistance level, we always want to compare it back to volume. That is a very significant volume spike, as you can see right there. It's the highest volume I think that this coin has ever had. Let me just tell you the number. It is 236,000. So probably what just happened is, I'm going to talk about the Forex thing, but probably what just happened, guys, and why I predicted this level to be resistance and price to move down after a volume spike is that a lot of amateurs probably just bought. A lot of people who don't really know how to trade crypto and just see things like increasing like crazy are going to buy. And then it's going to bloat the market, and then the market's going to move down like this, and the market's going to move very quickly downward as the smarter traders are going to be saying, hey, I should probably be selling this right here. And then maybe the retail traders begin to even buy more to try to cover the loss. Reason I say Forex is easier, I didn't say easier, I said simpler. Forex is simpler because it's a much cleaner market where you don't see crazy gains like this. You don't see crazy like doubling. It's traded with pips and traded with usually 50-to-1 leverage. So using technical analysis isn't easier, but it's definitely simpler. And putting your stop losses and take profits are no issue because margin trading is allowed. With crypto, typically you can only either plot a stop loss or take profit. So that's why Forex was nice to trade. And it's really nice to have if you're really good at Forex trading, you can absolutely have consistent profits with it. But the advantage of crypto is the volatility and a lot of new traders coming in, which is really good for us kind of traders who trade sentiment. Exactly, Siberian Husky, you could not be more right, man. This is fear of missing out in one volume candlestick. Everyone buys right here. And for those who know what happens in an uptrend after everyone buys, it doesn't usually end well. It's a market trap. So that's interesting. And for our trade here, this looks fine. This is our price level, as I've said probably I think like 15 times. I don't want to see this increasing, and I want to see this increasing and this decreasing. Let's look at XMR. I think it's at it's at 400 still. Okay, so I don't want to see this increasing, and I do want to see this increasing. Maybe XMR goes down to here. Yeah. But this all looks good. I'm happy with where I put my orders. Okay, that'll be interesting looking at buys on Wallcoin. But I just first want to say that I'm really happy that I didn't buy at this level. Thank God. I was thinking about putting an order at the 1.618 here, but then I would have been at a loss. I was thinking also about buying here, but I would have been at a loss there as well. So I'm really glad that my order's here. All right, so someone asked, can you explain your short-long indicator? Sure, I'll show you this. So this is called sentiment. And what this is the green is the amount of the coin that's held in long positions, and the red is the amount of coin that's held in short positions. So what we typically want to do as traders, and what I just talked about for Walton Coin, you want to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So if a lot of people are buying something, more often than not, you want to sell it. If a lot of people are selling something, you typically want to buy it. And the reason why that is, and the reason why this holds true, is because that when everyone buys something, the market really can't go up any higher because everyone's already put their capital into it. They can only sell it. And if everyone sells something, then no one owns it, and the market can't go any lower. So we want to be the first buyer into that uptrend after everyone buys it. So that's why I use sentiment, looking at longs and shorts. Yeah. I do not trade stocks currently, and I'm not invested in any stocks right now. I used to, and I made some good gains off Amazon, which was nice. All right, so still waiting for price to come down to here. But let's look at our good friend. This is probably going to be the highlight of the stream right here. Yep. This prediction that I made on stream, I'm moderately proud about that. But beyond predictions and me being with like this, use Fibonacci's, honestly, because if you had used a Fibonacci, you would not be one of these guys. You would not have been one of the, I don't want to say idiots, but one of the not as educated traders who bought right here. And now the price is just going against them, and they're like probably freaking out and selling, as you can see here. Actually, more people sold than bought, as you can see here, which is a really bad sign for the market. It's probably going to continue moving downward or just consolidate. Yeah, so I would say that if you had plotted a fib, you would have known that this is probably going to be resistance. So someone also asked, what's a good place to probably buy WTC BTC? Just using Fibonacci's. Typically, we want to do this. We want to draw a Fibonacci from the start of the uptrend. So you could, I would probably draw it here. Let me just see what this value gives me. Okay. What do I predict the retracement? I think that this is probably a B move, A, B, and C, which tells me that price is probably going to go a little bit deeper. All right, so here's what I think with my due diligence on WTC, BTC on Binance. So good news came out, but the bad news is that a lot of traders bought at these levels, meaning that if price begins to come up to these levels, a lot of them are going to want to sell at break even because they're currently trapped in positions. I would expect that price is likely to come down to 22.55 or potentially comes down to here at 21.40. Reason I say that is that's previous resistance right there. And so much of the time, previous resistance becomes future support. So my answer to you would be my buying area, if I could buy WTC, would be between 21.40 and 22.55. So like right there is where I'd probably want to buy. I would not want to buy this now. No. And I think what just happened was potentially a Fibonacci just got hit. No, not yet. The Fibonacci's at 29, 135. Okay. So I'm going to be checking on that, but I also want to check on our trade or our potential trade that'll probably get hit. Looks like XMR. Yeah, so really nothing's happened so far. I still expect price to come down to here, but just want to check up on it to see what's going on. Oh, hi, Blas Velato. Greetings from Argentina. Is using MACD profitable? Someone had asked. Using MACD MFI is probably profitable because what you're looking at is MFI is a volume-based indicator. MACD is a technical analysis-based indicator. And you always want to combine volume and technical analysis. You do not want to just use technicals because that's probably not the best idea. So I think using MACD with MFI is probably going to work. And my simple 5-minute trading strategy, I did make a video on how to use that. Still, I would recommend if you aren't a beginner trader and want to just go slightly more advanced, then read up and watch my videos on Fibonacci's and on volume trading because that's how I trade, and I've found it's a lot easier, and it gives you exact levels to trade at, and exact reasons to trade as well. So, I mean, I really can't give enough praise to trading off of historical volume and trading off of Fibonacci retracements and extensions. So, definitely spend a long time studying those two things because those are gonna make you money. And that's what would have gotten you this. You would have had actually a level to sell at. You would have sold here at around 0.03. You would have put your sell order there because that's the 161.8 Fibonacci that I had shown earlier, and then you would have made in potential profit. I mean, if you hadn't sold there, you'd be down about 13% right now, just from using fibs. Yeah, so man, I said Fibonacci's in volume trading, and I think I gave some examples previously in the stream. But when I say volume, I know there's a lot of different kinds, but the most common is historical volume, which is here, the bottom here, you see that orange line? That's just the volume moving average. So that's not really anything to worry about. That just is a 10-period moving average for the volume. And definitely combine fibs with volume, and I'd say you're good to go. But I would expect WTC to come down to here. I would say probably soon. And I mean, using fibs isn't hard, really. It's not that hard to plot Fibonacci's when you begin to identify the market states that they're in. Like if I showed you just like a random example, if we went back in time again just for fun, went on the 5 minute, then I could show you some. There's one by so book recommendations. There's really one good book with Fibonacci's by Constance Brown, and I think I've read that a few times. So I think it's like Fibonacci's, and if you type in Constance Brown, you'll probably find something pretty good. That's the thing that That's the book that I read. But a lot of it also came from articles and just experience in the market. So let me show you guys what's going on here. Let me actually just disable volume. It's a lot prettier this way. So if you knew how to trade Fibonacci's, you could have bought Ethereum Classic. You would have known how to scalp it here. This is not a great example because it did retrace 161.8, but actually didn't hit it. But if you would put a buy order here, I mean, you would have been instant profit there. And going forward, you'd probably be able to predict it here too. And so that's the Fibonacci side of how you can make money using fibs. But also, one interesting thing you can do if you want to become a better volume trader is just do this. Disable price and just look at volume and how price reacts to volume before looking at it. So if I'm just looking at volume here, which looks bizarre, I know. A volume spike here, I'm probably a reversal. As you can see here, it was reversal. If I just play and just look at volume, just for practicing, so not much is happening, not many transactions are occurring. I'm waiting for a large pickup, so whatever this happened, that's either probably continuation volume or reversal volume. So let me do pricing. Yeah, continuation volume, so upward. So I'd expect price to probably continue moving upward. And let's look at price. And yeah, price does continue moving upward. So that's just one way you can practice using volume spikes. And also fibs as well. Like this would have been a really easy fib to trade. Like honestly, look at this. You plot this to this. This is the 61.8 retracement. You buy there. And it happened again right here. And I mean, this isn't just 20/20 hindsight. If you had plotted this fib retracement from here to here, look here. Price goes exactly down to the 61.8 level again. I mean, and we can even predict some values in the past. Like this. Oh, breakout on Ethereum Classic that happened on the 15th. Let me plot a fib retracement. So I'm thinking plotting this like this. I think that's the right way to plot it. And that exactly proves my point. Look here. 61.8 retracement. Volume spike. And of course, volume spikes here as price moves upward, which means that the trend is likely to continue moving upward. The Ripple trade went well. That was in the first session that I had. Even though Ripple went down, we made money, and we are now at 0.3 Bitcoin. How do you know where to plot it? That is a really, really good question. How do I plot that 61.8? Well, you want to plot your Fibonacci's based on when the market state changes. So here I noticed that from this point to here, the market state was bullish, and then the market state changed into consolidation. So that's why I drew my fib from there to there. And no, I'm not in any long-term crypto holds except Bitcoin. All right, let's check out our XMR trade that we are, okay. So our orders here, price is still consolidating, as you can see. And I just gonna keep my order here. Even though I really want to buy this right now, I'll tell you that. And then if we put on sentiment, yeah. But with all the action, and you guys are probably curious what's going on here, what's going on with WTC. So what we predicted, and I'd actually made this prediction before, I expected 0.03 to be resistance. It is. Now I expect price to probably come down to this level and then move back upward. So I'm expecting price to probably either consolidate for a bit, then drop down, or price to drop down immediately. Flipping with Ethereum. Ethereum has increased a lot recently, but will its market cap overtake Bitcoin's market cap? That's the golden question. I think Bitcoin's dominance is very strong right now, and it will probably continue to be strong for the rest of the year. Will Ethereum beat Bitcoin in the end? I doubt it. I still think that Bitcoin's going to be the dominant just because it was the first. And first mover's advantage, especially in crypto where so much is happening so quickly. Because if you ask, you just do it this way. Do more people know about Bitcoin or do more people know about Ethereum? And if you're beginning to see that more people are knowing about Ethereum than Bitcoin, then the flipping will happen. But I think universally, and also in this country, Bitcoin's making the headlines. So yeah, I'm expecting this to come down to here still. I know I've repeated that a million times, but I'm expecting this to drop. Let me plot my handy dandy. Okay, so that's the fib extension. I feel so bad for anyone who had bought up here on Binance, and I know there's a lot of retail traders who had bought off of this tail right here from here to here. I feel really bad for those people. Typically, that's caused by emotions of fear of missing out. But I would still say that this looks like a really good buy. When it begins to retrace, I mean, if this retraces down here and then like hypothetically someone was to buy and then target resistance, that's like a 30% gain right there. So I mean, good. There's some good opportunities on WTC right now. And let's see if my second prediction is correct on that 61.8 to here being likely support. Obviously, I think it's probably going to be correct because I made the prediction, but we'll see what happens. For those watching right now, I will say this. If you guys can tell me, as price has been moving downward, what's been happening to volume? Look at the trend of the volume, because this is kind of interesting. Look at the trend of the volume moving. As price moved upward, what did volume do? Now as price is moving downward, what is volume doing? And that will give you some hints on where price is likely to move in the future. So we'll give you guys about like 10-15 seconds. You can comment if you want, but you don't have to, on the volume price pattern that's occurring right now. I wouldn't say exactly more sells. What I'm alluding to here is that as price went up, you see volume was increasing. As price moved down, we can see that volume is slowly decreasing, as you can see here. So there's more activity in the upside than there is on the downside. So as long as this doesn't spike, I would expect that the price would, but this might spike because it just hit the 61.8. Okay, so we plotted that one really well. All right, so do you guys see this? The 61.8 is at 22.55, right? WTC went down for a low of 22.502. So yeah, now looks like a good buy, a good spot to buy. From this price level to this price level looks pretty good. But again, that's not financial advice. Just because I say that this looks like a good buy absolutely does not mean that you should be buying. Again, you should always be doing your own analysis with volume and Fibonacci's or any other strategy that you use. All that I'm saying here is that this 61.8 is being respected. And as long as it's not broken, and this level's not broken, I would expect price to probably move upward pretty quickly. Good question. Where would I sell? There are two ways you could sell. And they're both using Fibonacci's, actually, not surprisingly. This just hit a 61.8. So if you, I don't want to say if you, but if I was in the market and I luckily just got my buy order filled on a Fibonacci, what I would do is I would plot a fib from here to here, and I would target that 61.8. And the 61.8 seems to be a minor resistance level here too. I would sell here, and then maybe I would actually buy at another 61.8 if the market began to move down. And if I had bought, like here and here, that's a 26% gain. That's the conservative way that you could trade using Fibonacci's. The incredibly aggressive way, if you want to risk a lot, is do this. You plot this, the retracement, and you target the 1.618 extension. You'd be putting your take profit at 37,860. So that would be trading from here to up there for about like a 70% gain or something. So my answer to where would I sell would either be here, very aggressive, or I would be a little bit more conservative and I would trade here at the 61.8. But again, I see volume increasing as price increases and volume decreasing as price decreases slightly, as you can see. And we do have a volume spike at the 61.8 level. I drew my previous Fibonacci here. Well, I can't trade WTC because I am using Poloniex and not Binance. WTC is not offered on Poloniex, so I unfortunately cannot trade this. If I was able to, that would be fantastic, though, because I would have already bought. And I would have sold here. I would have bought here. Thank you, Kirby Squirts. I want to talk about Taha's point. Volume moving down. People don't want to sell you. It might keep going up once it hits a volume. You're referring to volume. Yeah, of course. Volume's going to go up once it hits a fib level because a volume spike occurs. Hopefully, what usually happens is many retail traders. So, like, let's say in a horror scenario, and I feel really bad for anyone who did this. This happens with your emotions. Someone buys at like 0.003 because they want to make money very quickly. They sell at a 61.8. So they bought here and they sold here. That's what a lot of people are going to do. What we want to do, what I'm going to do is do the opposite. I'm going to sell here and then buy here. And if I had bought this, which, God, man, if I was trading Binance right now, this is not a hard trade to make at all. And, if you go back in stream, you can see me talking about this 61.8 level right there. If I was on Binance and I put a buy order here, we would be up currently like 10%. When would you use a fib extension in this scenario? You want to use a fib extension in a bull market on a retracement. Fib extensions are great for plotting new all-time highs. So when the market's moving towards highs that have never been tested before, we want to plot fib extensions to see where that 1.618 level is, and we want to sell at that level. And typically, that's going to be a very powerful resistance level, and we're going to probably make some good money by doing that. XMR, cool. Yeah, I'm still waiting for price to go down to here, but this looks fine. Volume's not really doing anything too crazy, except volume is decreasing slightly, which is nice. But let me, again, put my mouth where my money is, or my money where my mouth is, whatever the saying is. If I was hypothetically in this trade right now, I would want to sell here at 0.0028368. This would be my next selling opportunity. To go from like there to like, this is where I would have bought. I would have been like there. And again, that's like a 26% gain. Just using Fibonacci's. But volume-wise, you want to see a lot of volume being transacted as price moves upward. I will say that because it's not a great sign if you don't see a lot of volume. Thank you. Yeah, man. Again, fibs are, if there's any holy grail to trading, if there's any secret formula, there kind of is. Fibonacci's, if you know how to plot them, are beautiful works of nature. And there are actually some really good documentaries if you're interested in about the golden ratio and the golden code that show why this number is so efficient in nature. And what they found was that in nature, and this is going to get a little sciencey, but in nature they found that plants and animals like the nautilus shell, they use the 61.8 in the 1.618 ratios because it's the most efficient number. So things tend to grow at a rate of 1.618, and things tend to contract at a rate of 0.618. And because of that, I mean, the markets are the same. The markets are going to grow at probably a rate of 1.618, and the markets are probably going to contract at a level of 0.618, because these are the ratios that really define life. I know, isn't that crazy? Fibs in nature, but not crypto. Yeah. All right, so I think this is the third question of how I got that 0.3 resistance, of how I predicted that. I got 0.003 resistance by doing this. Let me just show it one last time, and then I don't want to talk about it again. But if you're curious of trading the way that I do with Fibonacci's, what you would do is you would plot the top of there, and then you want to put this down to here because this is your Fibonacci extension. You can see here that the 161.8 is about 0.0003, and that's how I got 0.0003 as resistance on WTC. And then we also predicted that price would go down 61.8, and let me show you guys that for those who are just tuning in. We predicted on stream that price would touch this level, around this level to this level, I said, and then price would likely come up back to here to 0.002836 is probably going to happen. And price is going to move up to here probably, and then we'll probably see the market move back down. I keep checking on XMR. That was a Ty Lopez status knowledge drop. I'm glad, man. You know, in my as you can see, I'm here in my garage with my Lamborghini. Ty Lopez is a goof. It's hilarious. I think he also just got into crypto as well. He I don't know if he's teaching crypto or talking about it or something. But no, I probably wouldn't have entered a position without sentiment data because I really care about sentiment a lot because it tells me what other people are doing in the market. But I might have been tempted just by using fibs and volume. Yeah. Because I mean, if I looked at if I did something crazy and looked at like the USD JPY, you know, and then just looked at like volume and Fibonacci's, it would probably be the same thing. Oh yeah, definitely, he's definitely doing that. I don't even know what strategies I think I saw like a little bit of his video just to see, you know, what he was teaching for Ty Lopez, just for curiosity, and it was kind of interesting. I couldn't really tell what he was teaching. I don't really remember. If you guys can fill me in, it was oh yeah, I think he was talking more about crypto investing than crypto trading. But he didn't really talk about like specific strategies or like, you know, volume or fibs about the actions of other people and how that influences the market. I think he more just talked about buying because it was good technology, which is, you know, fair, but yeah. Should we always place the Fibonacci extensions on the candlestick tails? When do we do it? When do we not do it? That's a really hard question. Well, I know this is you're probably sitting there when I answer this and like, oh, that's just a stupid answer, but it really depends on the market state. I mean, it just depends on the market because there are some areas when we want to use tails and then there are some when you don't want to use tails. One rule of thumb is subdivisions. You almost always want to plot the most recent subdivision of price with the Fibonacci. So what I mean by that is this. Look, I could have plotted my fib from like here to there, here to there or whatever, but I chose this, and that wasn't random. I chose this level to plot my fib from here to here because this was the most recent major subdivision, as you can see right here. Price was subdividing over here, but I didn't want to plot that because this is where the market state changed. So with tails, where do I plot fibs, or with all that, my answer is always going to be you plot it when the market state changes. And the market state, you can see, did change here. And I'm still waiting for XMR to go down to here. Yeah, I think we've been waiting for like an hour because I put a buy order at this level. But watching altcoin Bitcoin has been really interesting, and also just teaching some stuff about it. I think, is it hitting a 61.8 fib of this level? No, not really. And for those who want to nerd out and just like watch a really good Netflix thing, there's a Netflix documentary called The Code, for those who have seen it. Probably not many of you have seen it. It's a BBC documentary, and it's about like patterns and numbers and a little bit about Fibonacci's and like patterns of like birds and how that relates to like patterns of like humans. And it's really, really interesting. And I would highly recommend that you check out The Code on Netflix. It's certainly a good show to watch. I think it's a 3-episode series. And then also there's this, I think, like Nova documentary on Fibonacci's and the golden ratio. There's that as well that you can check out if you want to nerd out on more Fibonacci stuff. Yeah, it's The Code is definitely like dramatic and interesting, as dramatic and interesting as a documentary can really be. Do you trade EOS? I don't know if Poloniex offers EOS. Let me check that out, guys. I don't think it does, but I don't have sentiment data on EOS, so I don't really feel comfortable trading a coin that doesn't have sentiment. We have Neo. We don't have EOS. Yeah, so a coin that doesn't have sentiment, I don't know what other people are doing in the market, and I want to know what other people are doing. So let me look at, okay, I can quickly look at EOS Bitcoin. Okay, so EOS Bitcoin had a massive rise, and we have a massive fall off in longs and a massive fall off in shorts. Oh, we do have sentiment for EOS, but Poloniex doesn't offer it. What this typically is, when long sentiment drops off and short sentiment drops off very quickly, that typically leads to a reversal, because that shows that a lot of open interest is leaving the coin. So a lot more people are less interested in the coin, which typically leads the market to go downward. What criteria do I look for in different coins when scalping? I would say good sentiment. I would say that not many people buying. As strange as that sounds, I know. A lot of people shorting and not many people buying, and then the market being at support. Like, that is perfect textbook sentiment right there. Because what that means is that I can become the first buyer into an uptrend. Then make, I made 20% the last session, but I can make like another 20-25% just by being the first buyer into an uptrend. All right, so for those who are interested in trading EOS, let's actually just plot some. I'm going to plot if there's any fib extension shenanigans that I can do. 0.024. Let me just put on the 1 day. Ooh, so this is interesting. So with EOS, what you probably want to look for is the 61.8 retracement. So if we plot this from the high to the low down here, looks like price is likely to probably continue moving upward in the medium term. But remember, this is a daily chart. So this move will be happening over days. I would say in the short term, we're probably going to move downward. But I can see EOS being a good buy. Let's see, BTG on Binance. Oh, Jesus, yeah. So BTG just began to go up. God, look at those. How much did this go down? My God. This went down 88%? Good Lord. I feel bad for anyone who had bought this right here. They probably lost their entire position. Jesus, wow. Yeah, this looks like a good buy. Are you? Which one are you saying is a beautiful chart? BTG or EOS? Probably referring to EOS. But I'm gonna check out 88 next. Yeah, I would say actually this looks like a really good buy, and the reason that is, guys, is just look at volume. Volume's decreasing as price is decreasing, and then volume is increasing very rapidly as price is increasing very rapidly. So I would say that BTG looks pretty good actually. Will it break the highs? I think it's likely to break these highs. And then maybe you'll see major resistance at a 61.8 of this to this. Maybe it's like here you'll see resistance. Right. So people had said 88 before. So let's look at, I don't want to use Bittrex. Nah, let's use Binance. I like that exchange better. Okay, so you probably know what I'm going to do here. I plotted it wrong, as you can see. This would be a bit higher. Okay, so it's like right there. Perfect. Okay, so price is beginning to retrace, even though the 61.8 never got hit. I really don't know what to say on 88. I would say that usually price likes to go up to the 61.8, but in this case, I would expect price to probably go down. And yeah, I'd say 88 BTC is probably going to go down. Reason being is because it just broke out and now it's retracing. What did that volume spike on BTG mean breakout? Yeah, that's what I was saying. That is what I was saying, Nayu, that BTG looks good. BTG looks like it's going to probably move upward. But on this guy, I would say probably downward, because if I was to plot the fibs here, the most recent major subdivision I'd say is like here-ish. And that 61.8 is in this area, so I would say price is likely to move down into like, I'd say this region, just using Fibonacci's. Price is likely to move down to here. And then also, if we want to get super savvy, we could just plot a fib extension. And not surprisingly, the 161.8 and the 61.8 are lining up beautifully, as the market usually does. So the market probably is going to move down to here. There's a lot of pull for that to happen. So I'd be short-term bearish on ADA. Like I just said on BTG, I'm bullish on BTG. I think I just said like 5 minutes ago, and market already went up a little bit more too. Yeah, this looks like a great buy. Volume's decreasing, and now volume's increasing very rapidly. I can see this going very high very quickly. Potentially, I mean, this could like double. Not double, but make some good gains. You just got to watch out for the 61.8 of this move. Oh, it just got hit. Yeah, buying now would probably not be great because 61.8 retracement here. Maybe price comes down a bit more and then continues moving upward, but 61.8 of this right here, that might slow price down a bit. So I would expect maybe price to come down a little bit. But yeah, let me see if my altcoin prediction was correct. So far, really nothing's happened. Not surprisingly. We expected price to move upward, and XMR, nothing's happened. All right, so I am going to end this in 1 minute so that this stream would have been 2.5 hours, which is by far my record for longest stream ever. I think it was a fun stream. Yeah, and for those who are just tuning in or have been watching this and want to know, I know I've said this like a million times, but 280666 is where my buy order is at and will be. My stop loss is down here, and my take profit's going to be probably at a 161.8 extension. All right, man? And yeah, so that's about a 2-to-1 trade if I traded at resistance, and about a 3 or 4-to-1 trade, probably 4-to-1, if I get price to come down here, and then I target the 161.8 of this. We can make some good money off XMR. Yeah, overlapping fibs is what I almost always do on different time frames, because when you see a lot of fibs at one level, typically that level is going to have a lot of consolidation or a potential reversal. So yeah, overnight I'm hoping that this gets hit and that the breakout continues for XMR. But yeah, so for those who are interested in what the what we're at right here. We are at 0.3 Bitcoin, and hopefully that will change in the coming time. All right, guys, so I'm going to close this out. You guys have a good night, day, midday, or whatever it is for you. And again, like always, check out Fibonacci's and check out volume and check out sentiment. They will do you well. All right, until the next stream. See you guys.